Welcome everyone to another episode of IGN Unfiltered, our monthly interview series where I have the privilege to sit down with the best, brightest, most fascinating minds in the games industry. And today my guest is Josef Fares from Hazelight Studios. His new game is A Way Out, which when this airs, the game will be out.
Yeah.
We're recording it just before the game comes out. But Josef, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me here, and thanks for this presentation. I feel like proud to be announced like that.
Well, that's my job. I do my best.
Okay. So you're not really being honest. You're just saying it.
No, you've known me long enough. Yeah,
I'm joking.
Of course, we're going to talk about Brothers, Tale of Two Sons, your first game, but normally with these things, I like to, we go through your whole career. I love seeing the process of how you get to where you are.
Yeah.
But everybody knows you right now, not just for A Way Out, but for some things you said on the Game Awards. So just to refresh people, and maybe even refresh you,
right.
we're going to roll that tape.
Yeah,
just
sure, let's do it.
Here's Josef Fares at the Game Awards in December.
Astronauts for that announcement. Now I'm here with Josef Fares from Hazelight. Josef, you were at the first Game Awards back 2014, announcing something named Codename Hazelight. Now we know it's A Way Out. It's coming out next year. So how does it feel to be back at the Game Awards 4 years later?
Look at me, man. How do I look? It's like, I'm telling you this, okay. There are like passionate people, there are crazy people. There's me. I'm so passionate to be here. I'm so excited to be and meeting this industry people. It's crazy, man. Like, look, this is kind of insane. Like, we're here, we're celebrating this. Look, the Oscars should fuck themselves up. This is the shit. I'm telling you, this is the real shit. What is this? The interactive gaming. Look, I'm just saying this. Let me tell. Sorry, I'm taking. Let me just give me a minute. I want to take your time. Look. Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay. Fuck the Oscars, you know. Fuck the Oscars. Fuck you. I'll tell you. And there's like, this is bullshit. Look. Here's the thing. The gaming industry is an interactive experience where you feel it in your heart.
You did a lot of films, and now you're in games.
Yeah, right? You know, I've done 6 features, but I don't care. But okay, we're here to talk about A Way Out. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's get into your game.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit jet lagged, so that's why I'm a bit. And I'm excited.
So Josef, A Way Out, co-op game. You showed it at E3.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. You got a new clip of it tonight. What can you tell us about what we're going to see tonight?
What can I tell you?
Yeah.
My friend, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I can tell you. Look. This is insane. If the whole world tell me your game is shit, I'll tell them, no, it's not. Right. That's how much I believe in it.
Okay.
All right? I'm telling you, like, if you play the game from the beginning to the end, and you see what it is, it's impossible you don't like it.
Okay.
Impossible. Make sure to play with a friend. That's not a run-and-gun split-screen shooter.
And your friend can play with you for free, right? Yeah.
This is the thing.
Now I remember what
this is my idea. It doesn't have anything with the EA shit going on, with the loot box and stuff.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Look. I'm going to say to you one thing. EA has been very good to me.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, they're getting, because it's nice to hate EA, blah, blah. I don't care about that shit. What I'm saying is this. All publishers fuck up sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
That's how it is. They fuck up.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Like, in this case, it's like they've been treating me very well. That's what I'm saying. I have 100% of the income to my team for the game I'm doing, you know?
And it's coming soon, right?
Yeah, it's coming. I'm talking too long?
That's
Let
okay.
me talk a little bit.
No, it's like we got a long show, Josef. We got to be fair to everybody.
Let me continue a little bit. This is my time to shine, man. You know how proud I am to be in this industry.
You flew a long way. I know you did.
This is fun.
All right.
It's
Josef Fares.
I love this. Come on. Let's go, yeah.
I just keep
Keep
screaming.
talking, we're not going to be able to get
Okay, all right.
Oh my God.
Let's just unpack this for a minute. Have you seen that since?
Yeah.
You have seen that.
Yeah,
Okay, so did you know what you were going to say? Or did you have a plan going up
this
there?
is the thing with me. Like, I never plan anything. I don't write script. I don't have that.
You storyboarded your whole game. You wrote your whole game.
But
you wrote your movies.
But here's the thing. If I write what I say, I get like, I can't this. And the problem is that sometimes, like, in my head, I have all these things to say, but they come out weirdly. So with the fuck the Oscar thing is because I've heard earlier, it's not almost like you have a discussion in your own head. Like, I've heard earlier before, like, people talking about, this is like the game's Oscars and this and that. I'm like, fuck that, man. This is great. Fuck the Oscars. It's not like I particularly have something against the Oscars. You know
No,
what
you're
I mean?
a filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker, but it was like great. But I forgot to announce what we were supposed to announce. It was the Friends
the co-op
Pass thing.
token, yeah.
Yeah, and I was flying in like I have been sleeping maybe like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours something. Like I was like all like jet lag and everything. But
did you have a drink too, or were there any?
I mean, I had like beers, but it wasn't like I was shit-faced or something like that. But you know, it was like, it was fun. I mean, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, so
I feel a bit sorry about Jeff.
Well, you can see, like, so as someone who, I mean, I've never hosted anything like the Game Awards like Jeff does, but I kind of feel for Jeff a little bit in that situation. He's like, he's probably got his producers in his ear going, move forward, let's go. But
it's at the same time, it's a great moment, man. I mean, like sometimes you need to fuck up, you know.
Well, yeah. Have you talked to Jeff since then? Either like
we talked on Twitter a little bit and stuff like that. I mean, I think.
Are you good with it? Is he mad at you? Are you good with it?
No. I mean, he's a super cool guy. I think
you created a viral moment for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a lot of like views on this and stuff. So it's at the end of the day, it was good.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I wanted to point out, if you haven't already looked at this,
oh shit,
it worked. So I looked up the Google Trends.
Wow.
This is you. So the game's down here, or rather, you're down here, and this is the game. We can maybe put this up later and edit, but because this is a horrible printout. But this is your Google Trends search. For A Way Out, and
shit.
like it printed badly, but you know, E3, it's announced, it spikes, and then I'll give you one guess as to what that giant spike is right there. Oh, we got it. There it is. So yeah,
that is crazy.
That's the Game Awards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it worked.
That's crazy.
You know, you raised awareness.
But here's the thing. Like, this is not a. I mean, like this is not a PR stunt or something like that. Like, I don't plan these things.
No,
they
this
just
is you.
happen.
I've known you long enough.
Like, I've been on shows where I start to flex with my chest all of a sudden. So I don't know what happens. So I sometimes, like, when I do, like, I've done some shows in Sweden, like with a movie. They tell me, like, you want to come here and rehearse and stuff. I said to them, like, no, just let me be and we see what happens. And
that's good. You're on the right show for that. IGN Unfiltered.
That's perfect. I can say whatever I want to say.
Did any of your EA PR representatives kind of start to get a little hot under the collar? Say anything? Did they yell at you after that?
No. Nobody. Look, good. I mean, look at me. Do you think I have a script and what I say? Nobody yells at me. Look, I'm passionate. I believe in what I do.
You really do.
This is what it is, and I keep doing it. Nobody will tell me what to do. Whoever, I'd rather be on the street and not doing the game I believe in.
Yeah.
So nobody told me anything. I would say the opposite. I've been having support. And at the end of the day, of course, some people felt like, oh, who is this crazy guy? But I feel like most people liked it. It was like a fun moment, something that was like.
Yeah, well, and you and I were talking before we got in here too. You got, because your game came out again. When this airs, the game will already be out.
Yeah.
You had Sea of Thieves releasing right near you. You had Far Cry 5 right there. It's tough to stand out, right? There's so many games out all the time. So if you have that X factor of just you, Joseph being Joseph.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt, right?
But yeah, I guess it is. But for me, like being compared to those games, we pretty much have their coffee budget. Like, so it's crazy that being compared with those big titles. Because like when I look at the games coming out in 2018, the one to look forward to, A Way Out is one of them, which is great.
Yeah.
But you don't want to mix up. People think this is a AAA title. It's more of a maybe AA or something. It's more indie development, actually. I mean, we started as 10 people, grow to 40, and so on.
So, all right, we'll get to more.
But yeah, I'm super excited.
We'll get to more of A Way Out later. But now take a walk back with me. I want to get back here and understand. So, did you play? Were you a gamer as a kid? Did you play games as a kid?
I've been a huge hardcore gamer since I was like, probably the first console we got. I think it was an old Atari in Lebanon. I was born in Beirut, in the middle of the civil war. So we got an old Atari there. And after that, I was just like hooked. Like, I've been a hard gamer and still is. Like, to explain to you how much of a gamer I am, if I go into an apartment, if I visit someone, and there is no console or whatever in their like apartment or house, it's for me like coming into a place that they don't have a toilet in there.
Right.
It's so weird. Like when people tell me like I don't play video games, I'm like, how is this even possible? Like I don't even understand it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me that you don't play video games.
Did you play a lot of those games as a kid with your brother, Fares?
Yeah, I did. But I've always been more of a gamer than him, even till now. But he plays a lot of games as well.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo 8-bit, I mean, we used to stay up all night and with this. I mean, I have stories for all consoles.
What was some of your favorite games as a kid? Maybe Nintendo or Atari?
Yes, on the Super Nintendo, it's really started. I mean, one of my favorites are, and that's actually one of the inspiration for, you know, the top-down RPGs like, you know, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, a game called Lufia, if you remember those games. They were like Soul Blazer. At that time, when Enix and Square were different, like separate. So many of those games, like the top-down RPGs, I really loved those, you know. And Secrets of Mana especially. That's why I don't want to replay the remaster. Because I believe like playing remaster sometimes like going back to your childhood, what do you call it?
Your
like
memories.
love, you want to keep them like nice. You don't want to go back to them. I'm not so much of a retro, so I want to like, you know, because I did that mistake going back to like I think it was like 10 years ago, I went back to like a childhood love, what do you call it? And it was not good. It's better to keep it in your head than going back to it.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yeah, so for me, it's better to keep it like that.
So you grew up during the Lebanese Civil War.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that?
A lot. I actually did a movie about that. It's called Zozo. Like it was a harsh environment, of course, for a kid. And I did some like, there was some really bad stuff I did, which is like now in the Western world it looks, but it was like, you see a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to see, you know. So, I mean, I can't go into too much details. But then we moved to Sweden when I was 10. But I was very, like, outside there. Like, I didn't really fit in. You know what I mean? Like people.
In Sweden?
Yeah, in Sweden. Yeah. Like, it's almost like when you're an immigrant there, it's quite hard. A lot of people in my class were Swedish. I ended up, like, having a lot of trouble and problem like that. But luckily, I found the creativity in making movies, you know.
But when you do, so even if you're the kind of the fish out of water, but does it still? Do you just feel relief to have gotten away from that Civil War environment?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's.
I can't imagine the
yeah,
anxiety.
But here's the thing. Like when you live close to death, you live more like in the now, in a weird sense of a way. Because 2006, when I was down again, I shot the movie 2005, and 2006 I was there again I remember like for a vacation, and then there were you know, at that time there was some like conflict between the Israelis and Hezbollah area. There were actually bombs, and I was like in the area 300 meters from the bomb. When you have real bombs falling down 300 meters from you, it's not a walk in the park. Like you really feel and sense. It's way different than looking at a movie. But what happens, like, I at least got this adrenaline kick. You feel alive in a weird sense. Like, you know, some people talk about living in the now. That's truly living in the now. That's why you have this adrenaline junkie when they jump out of the mouth. It's like, so you feel so alive. You're close to everything, to crying, to loving, to fucking, I don't know what. It's like, it's such a weird feeling. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's like, so it's not all bad.
So what made you want to be a filmmaker? As you're growing up now after 10 in Sweden, and you're a little, you feel different than the other kids, and not as. So how does that lead you into filmmaking?
Well, actually, first of all, I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. He's the reason why I started making movies, because I tried to imitate him and do his stuff. I'm still a big fan of him. I think his way of approaching martial arts, both from a philosophical way and like just his whole charisma. But so I always had this idea of becoming like be like him, and we started up like I think.
Is that why you do your own stunts now?
Yeah, still today. Games? So I have it in me. That's actually true. We do all the stunts in A Way Out. But yeah, back to that. So I remember like I borrowed the camera from a friend of mine's father, like a small camera.
Yeah.
And we did our first short movie, and I felt like, oh, this is fun. I could really do this. And I did like maybe 50 short films.
Wow.
Yeah, so it did a lot, and it won a lot of like amateur film festivals. I remember the first time the company contacted me, and I've always been this cocky. I remember like going up to this company, they told me like, yeah, we see your movie, they're very good. We want to make a movie with you. I'm like, look, you're either in this project or not, because it's going to become successful. Whatever you do, this is going to happen, you know. And of course, eventually, when I made my first movie called Yalla Yalla at that time, this was 2000. I was maybe 22 or something, like very young, and it became the #1 box office hit in Sweden. It's also sold around the world everywhere. So,
was that was that kind of an FU moment where to all those kids that didn't become friends with you in school were like, look at me, I got the #1 movie now?
Yeah, but I'm not really that kind of a guy. Like I'm not really like, look what I've done. Yeah. What about you? I'm like
healthier that way.
Yeah, I'm more like, you know, I don't feel the urge to like prove myself to anybody in that sense. You know what I mean? So I feel like I knew this already, so why don't you know it also? You know, it's the same with brothers. Like if you look like, I mean, we'll probably talk about that as well. Like many people didn't believe in that project as well.
Yeah. So, what was it like the first time that you got to watch a movie you made up on a big screen with an audience?
It was crazy because it was like I had my whole family in the movie. Like it was like my grandmother, my father, everything.
Yeah.
Like cousins and like we had a scene and then it was supposed to be like a wedding of some kind. And you know, it was like a small budget and something. Like my producer, I remember, came up as like, we're supposed to have like a big fight here in the park. Like, how are we gonna do? We don't have any stunt, nothing. I'm like, don't worry about it. So I went up on stage. And I'm like, okay, everybody. This was like friends and relatives and everything. I'm like, okay, this side you're gonna fight with this side. They're like, okay, they don't know anything. And then I told my DOP and I said to him, let's take 2 cameras and we shoot and like we take whatever we. I was like 1, 2, and action. They started going up and screaming, throwing chairs and like going crazy. I'm like, wow, this is so much good footage. And then I'm like, cut, but nobody listened. They didn't care. They continued fighting. Eventually, we got them to stop. So there were many moments like there was a crazy set. But also like when the actual premiere happened, sitting with my family and that success it became, it was like it was a big thing. And actually, to be honest to you, like it ended up affecting me as my person because. Something that I've learned through my life is that, because what you get when you get in a situation where you get famous, not that I ever got a big head of it, because I don't even believe like, I think this life is just like we're playing around. But it's that when you get too dependent of your environment, you know what I mean? Like when you get too addicted of people liking you, that happened to me very a lot, and that was a very tough period in my life. Like it was very tough because you all the time seek attention.
When you're young, that's I think we're all like that to an extent.
And I think we that goes with us throughout. Like I see it in my with people like growing up as well. But for me, that's been one of my biggest things that I'm so happy that I like let go of, which feels very nice actually.
Is that? Do you think that's why your first film was a comedy? You just wanted to.
Yeah,
to make people laugh?
I think after that, I didn't expect this kind of attention because everybody was looking at me, reacting to me, and I got all this attention. And like, I don't know. I guess it just affected me in a bad way. I think. Yeah.
So, tell me about then when you won for Zozo in 2006. You won the Nordic Council Film Prize.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. How did
I remember
feel?
that speech. I went up, like, here's my home address. I don't even remember what I said. Like, here's my home address. Take it. Come home to me. People were like, what the fuck is going on? I'm not sure if it's on film though, but probably there. But how was the moment? It was nice. I mean,
was it gratifying for you, or was it?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I get more excited of the actual development than the result. Like, for instance, if we look at A Way Out now, like, I know, like, my team is super excited to look at, like, people playing, reacting, review. But for me, I'm like, all right, I'm not that interested in what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
If you ask me if I saw that clip in the middle and say, fuck the Oscars, I looked at one time because everybody in the team were laughing about it. So, but I don't, like, go in and look at myself. I don't know, I feel like I don't have the same... I have fun with the progress.
Right, the art is in the process for you.
Yes,
not the end result.
I mean, the end result is important. Of course, I'm happy people like it, but my head is always on the next one. Then I'm like, okay, so this is done. Let's go with the next. You know.
Did you have any thoughts of heading out to Hollywood at any point as you sort of establish yourself?
I think I even have an agent here, and it's like. But here's the thing, like. I am who I am, will always be like that. So whatever, like, if I will make a movie in Hollywood, I will tell them this is the way we do it. I can guarantee you here on this show, like, if I'm in Hollywood, it's gonna take me 6 months. Maybe a little, maybe 8, 9 months. I will be the director that everybody wants to work with. Guaranteed. And it's not about...
You have to think that way, though,
no,
don't you?
but it's not about cocking. It's just something I know.
Right.
Because I know what it is.
But isn't that... You can't worry about what other people think when you're trying to make art, right?
Here's the thing. It's not... There's a difference because it's not only self-confidence. Like, I truly are humble against, like, the creative aspect. I question everything. But I just know in my heart, like, when I focus on something, it will happen. No matter what. So
for A Way Out, for example... Yeah. You sounds like you don't bother with like focus testing and saying, oh, maybe we should tweak the gameplay this way.
I do
have your vision.
Yeah. But I'm not stupid. I listen. If like we're like testing and people are like not really getting this or that, I can listen to some. But if there are some things like, oh, we don't like, I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen because you're wrong here. Many times I've said to people, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. So you have to believe in it and go with it. That's pretty much what it is about.
See, I think, and I've talked to enough people on this show that I feel like it's like if I made a pie chart of common personality traits, I feel like that would be towards the center.
But it's also something that you can't like. It's nothing that you can like. You say, oh, I believe it. It's just something you feel. It's strange. It's like a feeling of some kind. I don't know how to explain it.
Not a self-confidence so much as a self-assuredness, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It probably have some deep psychological blah, blah, blah behind it. But sometimes I say like, people can look at me sometimes and think, oh, you're crazy or this and that. But I say like, hey, you can judge me and sleep better at nights or you can get inspired. It's up to you. I don't care if you judge me or not. And here's the opposite. And I'm not saying I don't care is that I don't care about people and fuck everybody. No, I have extreme respect for everybody. Yeah. Like whoever it is, I don't care who you are, what you do, like what your role is, whatever the fuck, I don't care. But it's about respecting your environment. But don't worry too much about the other,
So will you even, again, we're recording before A Way Out ships, this interview airs after, do you even look at reviews? Do you even care? Or you just
I mean, at some, like, I look, but I don't, like, read fully of that. Maybe I read some, like, but not, like, the whole of it, Like, some here and there, like, it's nice. But I have a good idea of what A Way Out is. Even if, everybody gives this bad review, then in my heart, I know that's not true. Because they're not seeing the game that it is a way out.
It's probably dangerous, right? Because you don't want to either get too down on yourself or too high on yourself either, right?
But I have no worries that I like get. What do you say when you have like when you
egomaniacal?
When you take,
or
when you have like
big head.
Big head, yeah. I have no. I'm not afraid of that at all. Because that will never happen to me. Because I'm telling you, what I say when like. Life is for me like a play. It's so short. Let's play and fuck around. Like, just be nice and that's it. Be nice to your closest one and take care, make us love much as possible and, and then just do your thing. You have this, I mean, come on, man. Dinosaurs has been going on for 150 million years. What are we like 200,000? You think we're going to go on for 150 millions? I mean, come on. We have this short time. You're like, it's almost like a breath and then you're out. Yeah. Like, why not make that breath count,
Well, so Zozo, like you touched on a minute ago, is very
I change subject all the time,
okay.
So head me back. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm going to rein you in. I've got
go.
Some reins, and we're just going to...
just do it.
So it's a very autobiographical film.
Yeah.
Did you find that to be the process of that? You're talking about the art and the process. Is it easier or more difficult to make an autobiographical piece like that?
In many sense, that film was hard because getting back to that, I remember the first time when I got back to it, it was shot in my real apartment when I was young.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, like the first thing you remember when you get back, it's not how it looked, because I remember, but the first thing that struck me was the smell. Smell and memory are so connected. It was like, and it's like almost like it washes all over you. It was like so crazy. And then I knew actually the guy that was gonna play the main character that played me when I was young. It was such a bizarre thing, but I knew that we were gonna become like brother, and we still are. But yes, I would say it's harder because you're pretty much like, it's a privilege to be able to like shoot your own story pretty much. I mean, it's not 100% my story. It's also inspired. Like some events are changed for the movie's sake, but it's. I would say yes, it was harder because of the like personal scenes. Like there are some scenes there where I had to like steal stuff, like very sad stuff, like steal stuff to give them to friends for them to like me. All these things. It's very sad stuff for a kid.
What did your parents think when you showed them Zozo?
My parents, like my father, is very crazy. I mean, he's very well known in Sweden. Like he's this crazy dude. He's like, the first time I was in movies, he's like, what is this movie shit? Like what is that? Like, why don't you go like make a pizza or something like that? But he didn't understand, and I don't think he understands what games is about either.
I was gonna ask that. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even play. Like he's like, what is this game? He doesn't understand. Like movies, he gets it now. He's like, oh, okay. you know, you can become successful. But with games as well, it's like he sees this as it's a children's thing. You don't really understand.
Yeah.
I tried to explain to him, like, look, this is...
Even as a successful 40-year-old man, it's still like, what are you doing with these kids things?
Yeah, but he's very funny. Like, I should maybe like do a Let's Play with him playing, because I have no clue on how to play.
You should, play through a way.
It's a very funny accent, you know, also. But it's in Sweden. But he knows a little bit English as well. It's very funny.
So, who are some of the filmmakers that you admire?
Oh, definitely like one of my, I would say Stanley Kubrick. James Cameron, I love what he does, and I say some of the movies that Steven Spielberg does, and I take those up because because I think that Spielberg has done some movies which are so great. Like I know some people think that he's not artsy enough, but I don't care. Like I've felt his movies in his heart. And James Cameron is the same for me. He does movies that just like punches in the heart. Like rarely I see film that I want to rewatch, yeah. And Stanley Kubrick is because he's the master of filmmaking. I think actually he's the most common director that all directors have as his, because he's such a masterful guy. Like a movie like Barry Lyndon is insanely well done.
How would you sort of describe your directorial style?
It's very like I would say like very heartwarming. I work a lot with my heart, not so much with the brain, more with this, you know. I will probably do more movies in the future. The funny part would be if I got Oscar nominated in the future.
So we're gonna play a tape
like
again.
fuck the Oscar.
Just say you were really jet lagged. Just forget it. It's
No, don't worry about it. I don't care.
so the transition from making films to currently, it sounds like you want to make films again in the future, but moving from filmmaking to game making, that's not a transition that we see creators make often, if maybe ever. I'm not sure if you might be the first actual professional filmmaker to transition into making games. What made you want to change your career like that?
Well, again, it's like I never really have dropped movies yet, but I'm all 100% now games, you know.
Yeah.
The passion I feel for games is insane. Like so just to give you a short story of like how I came in. So what happened, like every interview I did for every movie, I talked about games. And I talked about games, and slowly the gaming industry is starting, because I am like a well-known guy in Sweden. So they're like, what is he talking about? Like they show some interest. They started to like invite me for like storytelling thing, you know, because they obviously like at that time there were like still some problem. How do we tell? I mean, we still have that today, obviously. So how do we tell a story in games? Maybe like can we use him as? So I was there like having talks and stuff, and I was saying to them like, look, I have many great ideas, as many people say, like
sure,
we should do this, we should that. They're like, yeah, sure, and then eventually like. Like an older friend of mine, he has a school with a couple of students, said to me, look, if you want to make a demo or something, we have these students during the summer vacation. Why don't you come by like 6 weeks? And I'm like, oh my God.
Cool.
The same night in the hotel room, I came up with the brothers, the concept, how you control. And I remember like, we had one guy from Starbase at that time was going to be like my mentor. And I was like, I didn't know anything about making games. He really liked the idea, and I told him the premise and what's going on. He's like, oh shit, this is really cool. So we started making the prototype, and it was such like a short demo, 20 minutes. I learned so much stuff. Like, wow, is it like this? And you think that, oh, this is how you make it. But once you start making it, like, wow, it becomes way more complex. But after that, I started to present to different people, and everybody loved the idea, but nobody really dared. Like, you're a filmmaker. I really, people are working against me. The other thing was that I had already decided this will happen. And you know when it happens, I'll find a way. Whatever it is, I will find a way to make it. So I made another demo with another, because we got some money to make another one. And then I eventually managed to, force myself into Starbase, find this small team, and start working on it. Oh my God, it was like I think for them it was different having a guy like me.
They've never made anything like they haven't made a game like that before.
No.
These were the guys, they were coming off of the Riddick.
Yeah,
know?
These were guys like, and we pretty much have one guy from that team that actually worked on Riddick. It wasn't new guys. And they were like not used to having a guy like me, like, okay, we should do this, we should that. Like, you don't have this. I mean, it's coming more and more. The auteur thing, is it called like that? Like
like Kojima.
Like the directors. Like, it's not so common in games.
Like
I think
a forceful singular vision.
Yes, I think it's important. It doesn't have to be from one. It could be two. Like Bruce Straley, Neil Druckmann, for instance. Like some that pushes the train on on one way. I mean, of course it's a collaboration, but you need to have someone who, and you see games who become more successful, I believe, is the games that have like a clear vision from the beginning.
Was there a lot of friction with Starbreeze early on because you have this vision and they're like, well, we know how to make games,
there were a lot of problems, let me tell you. I mean, it even went up where it was a situation where like it was almost a bare knuckle fight. I'm telling you, like, I don't like quit. Like when I believe in something, it's gonna happen. Like there were many times people like, yeah, obviously thought it was full of shit, didn't believe in the game and blah, blah, blah. You know, the typical story when something becomes successful.
Yeah.
The only problem I see is that you have all these people having opinions about stuff, especially when stuff that is unique. The scary part about that, not all people have my confidence. Now imagine how many good stuff we missed because some other people said to you, like, this is not good. And you kind of like, so you have to believe in what you do. Otherwise, you can't fight for it, you know?
Was there a specific moment that you remember where you kind of finally got on the same page with Starbreeze, or was it just more of you just wore them down over time?
They got used to me after. They're like, almost like people are thinking, I guess this guy is crazy. But I'm not crazy, man. I'm just being who I am. I can't help it, you know? It's like, I am who I am and believe what I do. If you've talked to my team, I mean, I'm pretty sure they describe me as a humble, cool guy, relaxed to hang out with. I mean, they don't got the chance to comment it now. But this is who I am, man. I mean, it's like, but when I believe in something, it will happen. That's I can't stop. I don't know if it's a disease or something.
No, I've seen it. It's a trait of successful creative people. I mean,
probably,
look at Steve Jobs had they would talk about his reality distortion field, how you just say like, no, we're doing that, and then eventually you get done. Elon Musk is a guy who's that way, and there's certainly a lot of creative people in arts.
But I never treat people bad. That's very important for me. Like I don't care who you are or what you do or whatever like that. That's extremely important for me because I guess I have the same kind of a background. You know, it's silly like when people like have a title and they like. You know, you see when people like very insecure and they have these titles and they take themselves seriously, that's like the most silliest thing ever. Then I just smile and then I don't care. I mean, it's like, come on, get out of here. What is this, you know?
So, all right. So Brothers, back to more on a Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. That's your first game. It comes out in 2013. It's a very emotional game. A very emotional story. And that came out at a time when, you know, there weren't a lot of games that could elicit emotion that way. So how do you, looking back here with A Way Out now done, how do you feel about Brothers now, looking back on it?
I mean, obviously, Brothers opened up a lot of doors. The difference between making Brothers and making A Way Out, because now it was the opposite. Now people were like, okay, why don't you come, you know, working with us? And I was very close of signing with Microsoft.
Oh, interesting.
It was like a week between.
You had, so what, you're talking to Phil Spencer about?
Yeah, Phil Spencer.
For Hazelight, they were going to sign?
Yes. We were super close. I mean, Phil Spencer, I think that was the best thing that could happen to Microsoft. That guy is he's a super cool guy.
And he's
super passionate about games.
He
cares about games for real. It's not something that you see him say on like blah, blah, blah. Like, he's really passionate about this. But then this other guy called Patrick, so he just like contacted me.
From EA.
Yeah, from EA, like a week before, and we talked, and at that time it felt like, okay, it fits better for the game I do, and they are in Sweden, and we got the offices, because, you know, all these, like, it was mostly like what can you say, like, local stuff that had also,
right. So if Microsoft, or if you'd been in Seattle, you probably would have signed with Microsoft.
Exactly. I think that would have happened. Yeah, but I was super close. I wouldn't have. I don't care. Like whoever publisher I work, as long as they believe in what we do, then it's fine. It's always gonna be like that. Otherwise, that's why I keep telling people, like, no, you won't have any loot boxes. No, I don't care, because if EA comes to me, whoever says you have to have that, then I would say, okay, thank you, goodbye. I go. And if I end up like, you know, losing all my money, end up on the street, then it's fine. Then it's my time to figure out the way to live on the street. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care. And how do you like argue with someone that don't care? You know what I mean? It's like, it won't work. You know what I mean? This is who I am. But passion is something you can't buy it for money. It's something you have, you know?
And now, I mean, you know, with EA at least, you, I mean, with A Way Out, I don't know, maybe Phil's regretting that he couldn't close the deal, or, you know, couldn't have that sort of Swedish connection with you. But at least,
he wasn't actually the one responsible for the deal, but we were talking, you know,
But at least, you know, now more people get to play the game because it's on multiple platforms.
Yeah. In that sense, it's good.
Xbox.
Yeah,
so that's good for you. At least.
Yeah, exactly. In that sense, it's very good. So more people are gonna play it.
But what if you could do Brothers over again today, would you change anything?
Yes, there were many ideas I had. Sometimes the team make jokes of me. They have many ideas that didn't work. At that time, I didn't really know what the development aspect of it. So I had this crazy idea of like having they sometimes joke like a snake in the grass, because I wanted to have a snake and with a lot of long grass and like ropes. And like, if you say to the developer, like, we're gonna have ropes and snakes and all this weird shit, they're gonna go nuts. Rope is something that scares a lot of animators, especially when you were doing like, what the Uncharted, like what the Naughty Dog guys does. I mean, I know everybody knows how good they are, but let me tell you, like, stuff they do it's insane. Also, is a Swedish word. I keep coming back to that. Yeah. It's insane. Like the level of play is like, wow. Like there are people like they're like up here. I mean, you have also. You see how my heads work? It goes to different subjects. Like Rocksteady Studios, I think, are like super good at polishing stuff up, like really well done, really well made. Like you see how the animation going, everything is like super cool. But getting back to Brothers, the team joke with me sometimes, like, hey, let's do the snake in the grass thing. So I had many crazy ideas. So if I would redo it, no, I wouldn't, because I feel like at that time when it came out, it fits really well. And I think actually in a sense, like Brothers, it's kind of like timeless in a sense, because it still looks good today. I mean, I saw a video of it not too long ago, and I think it still like looks very cozy and like fairy tale-y.
Yeah, and a very nice art style to it.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Well. I mean, it's become one of the classics. I mean, I still get fan mails. That's the difference of making a game. Like, you get fan mails like till today. Like, this was released 2013. Yeah, and the people are today like are really like writing like really,
That's great.
Stuff that are like emotionally, I'm like, oh shit, do people even play it now? But they still do. I mean, I guess like some people are curious now and play it.
I mean, there's a natural evolution. Would you like to see? Would you have maybe done the mandatory 2-player co-op with Brothers?
No, because I don't want to spoil it. Because when you play that game, you understand why the design is like this. It's all about like left hand, big brother, right hand little brother, to connect with them physically. Yeah. So that's what I try, like always, like push the boundaries on games, even if it means taking risks. I don't care. I sometimes say a lot. Look, being afraid of failing is 100% way worse than actually failing, because you're always like insecure. Like, but if you do fail, then you fix it then, but don't worry about failing, because that takes so much energy. You're like, what will people say? Well, this, what, that. And sometimes people listen too much to these like experts. Someone come and tell you, like during Brothers, I remember the mocap review sucked. They're like, I remember like 4 out of 10. Something. I'm like, what is it? I read the reviews. I'm like, are they actually playing the game, or are they wanting it to be another game? I'm like, no, this is not right. They're wrong. I don't care. And it actually happened. I mean, the game scored really well. So it's like...
Oh, yeah, I went and looked I checked before our interview. I think the Metacritic, which is... I think on the 360 version, which was the one that came out first, I think it ended up at like an 86 or something.
I mean,
that's phenomenal. That's
it's like really good. So it's like... But, I don't know, sometimes people talk a lot. Sometimes they'll say, well, why don't you do this game is one... And you hear it from all these, like, both movies and games. You hear that people... I mean... I'm sure you've heard stories like of popular games today that people say, this is not going to work, it's not fun, blah, blah, blah. I really actually asked the word, is this fun? But it's more like, the more I ask is does this gameplay fit this scene?
Yeah.
More important than fun. For me, like fun gameplay, like, I mean, what is gameplay really? I mean, if you look at games today, like that's what's really like gets me excited. Like, why do we look at gameplay in a certain kind of level, like gameplay, what could it be, like a puzzle or shooting or action, or why do we see why can't we make a gameplay out of a love sequence, like really play it, and I don't mean just push X and Y, and those are the kind of things I want to explore. I think you can actually make a gameplay into a beautiful love scene and actually play it and control it. That would be my dream to reach at some point.
What's your favorite? Do you have sort of a favorite scene or moment from Brothers? Looking back on it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's without spoiling, it's the ending. When I came
Well, they should have. It's been 5 years.
Yeah. So the whole thing with Brothers, the ending. If you want to play, this is a spoiler. So once your big brother dies, you're used to control like. First of all, most cases you control Big Brother with the left stick, so you always. And then once he dies, and you actually have to bury him yourself, you felt like a physical loss. Like you're not used to control a character with this. You immediately feel like, shit, something is missing physically. And here's the thing: like in the end, when you have to go back to your father, when you have to swim to your father, the little brother, we know from the story playing that he can't swim by himself, so he needs his big brother. So you go there and you like go to the water, and you don't really know what to do, and it's like, you know. I remember like people say we should have the tour of some kind. No. So when people went there like for a couple of minutes, they don't understand what to do. Suddenly they realized like if I push the dead brother's button in, then you get the strength of actually taking his force into. And that moment for me when it came up, I remember I wasn't sleeping that night. I came to the team, I'm like, this is gonna blow your fucking mind, you know, because I was so excited. And actually that's the moment where many people felt like that was like the big moment that couldn't be done in movies, you know. In games. Like, that can only be done in games, you know what I mean? So I get all excited, you should be careful with me. Like,
that's why you're here.
I'm gonna jump up on the table soon and go.
I'm gonna
you're getting me like excited
this
now.
is good. So we're getting.
Don't worry.
This is where we're going.
Soon you're gonna have a lift here also for the fuck the Oscar, whatever fuck.
We'll have our own viral clip.
Yeah.
We talk about taking risks.
Yes.
And I feel like the whole requiring two players.
Yes.
For a way out.
Yeah.
That to me, in my 15 years of covering the games industry, seems like a thing that a lot of game publishers would probably tell you is a terrible idea and you shouldn't do it. So did you encounter any resistance along the way with that specifically?
I was clear from the get-go, this is where it's gonna be. And working with EA haven't been a problem for me at all. Good. I've been immediately clear. Here's the thing. When I say 100% creative control, I mean it. I mean, EA can't go in and change a single color in a way out. Nothing. So everything in the game is up to me and the team. That's it. So, but of course, like there were questions, like for instance, like, oh, wouldn't single player? For me, like, no, doesn't matter what you say. Single player will not happen. This is the game, this is the vision. I don't care if they would have given me $10 million. No, it wouldn't have happened because this is the vision. And there's like a design idea behind it. It's not just like, oh, let's make a co-op only. There's a meaning to it as well. You know what I mean? So you can't change. You have to follow it and go through it. So in the beginning, there was like a couple of questions, like, yeah, you hear people saying you're gonna lose a lot of market, blah blah, but who cares? I mean, this is the game, and you gotta believe in it to go with it. That's it, you know. So that would never change. It would never change at all. And even like, if I know some people said I don't have a friend, I can play with you if you're totally alone. I can like play, but it's more fun to play. But I'm sure you can get someone who can play with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
well,
and I think it's underestimated because people want to play together. People want to experience stories together also.
I agree completely. Yeah.
I mean, we do experience stories together when we look at movies or play.
Yeah, and
or
we've
whatever.
seen cooperative gameplay really rise. It's in vogue now. The way it kind of wasn't 10 years or so ago.
Yeah.
And now it's really come back around. I mean, and you know, on the same note, the free token for the second player that you get if you buy the game, that's awesome fan service for players. I mean, there's nothing about that you can say bad about that.
Yeah.
Was that your idea, and did you have any trouble getting EA to buy into that?
No. Here's the thing to explain to you what Originals deal is. So here's the thing, 100%, and I mean 100 of the money goes to Hazelight. So EA is not making a single dollar out of this, not a single. So the only thing they're having is the game out there. That's pretty much it.
They get the goodwill basically of having published this creative.
They don't earn, and still they don't make a single dollar. I get all this support, like everybody help me out. So why? I mean, I don't care that like I said on the Game Awards. Yes, publishers fuck up sometimes, but everybody does. Who doesn't? There are people like us. They take a shit, they take a piss. Is that the difference is like this? I think like, when you have a big corporation and shareholders and blah, 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 and it's like, if you can't you can't just be thinking, oh, creatively fan. I think like I would never be in that position because I wouldn't like it. It wouldn't work for me because I don't want to be ending up doing it. But when you have like a big company, that's the problem. That's the global problem. When you have big companies, you have to take some decisions that are bad sometimes. And I would say like EA does them, Microsoft, Nintendo, you name everybody, everybody does this. But of course, like if you ask me about microtransaction, I say it sucks, I don't like it. Loot boxes, it sucks, I don't like it. You will never have it in my game. But that doesn't take away that the people treating me at EA has been good, It's always going to be like that. And here's the thing, like people, you're in the industry, people like jump around from publisher to publisher.
Oh, it's a small
industry. It's not like,
yeah.
I don't know, like people painting up. It's like, it's all the same, man.
Yeah, the person that you...
I don't care.
You'll eventually end up working with all of them, probably.
Yes. For me, like, I don't care who you are, what label you have, or whatever you want to call it, EA, BA, DA, or whatever, it's like the same. As long as you like respect and understand, because here's another thing. I think it's the opposite also, because if I, as a creative guy, say like, oh, this is the vision, blah, 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 fuck the money. No, I can't do that. People have to pay bills. You have to respect that there is like a midline you have to respect. There's a money aspect and there's a creative aspect.
Yeah.
Now, the money aspect can take over and the creative aspect can't. You have to understand that people, need money to pay their rents.
Absolutely.
You have to respect that as well. You can't just tell finance, fuck you. That's not possible. Then you're not respecting the other side of the coin or whatever. So once you meet and you have good talk, like, okay, this costs money, okay, we do this.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. Then you understand each other. But I don't know if you take the easy way, like, you just want to have money, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And of course, nothing happens, you know what I mean? But for me, that's what my relation will be with every publisher I decide to work with in the future. And here's this thing: if they want to, goodbye, I'll see you later. That's it.
So the free token for the second player.
Yes. You see how I went on to a totally different.
We're reeling it back in.
So typical me, man.
Did the finance guys say, wait a minute,
No.
Joseph, we're leaving so much money on the table, we can't do this?
No, it made sense, I think, for everybody, because like this is not I think the game's gonna be maybe 6, 7, 8 hours, something, 7 or 8, depending on how you play.
It's out now, so people know.
Yeah, exactly.
as they see this.
So it made sense, like, if you have an only co-op game, so why force them to play buy two? If you can't play it alone, what's the point? It's like you're buying a game, but you can't play with someone. So that means that it's pretty much like you're getting half the game. So it actually makes sense. Like if you want to play with someone online, you don't have to, pay for it.
It would have effectively been a $60 game.
Yes, exactly. It would be like what?
Token.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So I think everybody felt it made sense, but there were some, I know some logistic, is it called, like behind it was like with Sony, but this was like talked about very early on, like with Sony, how we do it, and Microsoft. There's like always
the
this
back end stuff.
There's a lot of things
token
going on. Like, just the thing that when you release a game for Sony and Microsoft, there you go away. So like it's like I've seen this list. I'm like, what? It's like so weird. You have one guy working, taken out in like controls in the console, just see it work.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah. So it's like super, many aha moments for me.
So, what do you think? What's the most similar thing in your experience? Similar thing between making movies and making games?
Look, if I would make a movie today, that would be for me taking a vacation. That's that hard, right? Here's the thing. I've done 6 feature movies, 50 shorts. All of them together can't compare the amount of work on a way out.
Wow.
And here's why I think. First of all, movie are a passive experience. That not taking away that movies are hard work. No, not at all.
Right.
But here's the thing. You're much more in control when you're working with a passive medium, in my opinion. I mean, when you're an interactive medium, it's almost like having your audience running around on set, grabbing your camera, grabbing your actor. Like you're like, oh yeah, that's the interactive medium makes it so much harder to control it. And it's also like other things, like production-wise. We don't really know today how to plan for a game. That's why you see games like get late, because you I thought it was going to get laid, not get laid.
I got you. Delayed. Get delayed.
You see many games get laid, yeah.
You're talking about controllable love sequences earlier. It's on your brain. What can we say?
No, get laid. Do you say get laid? Yeah, get laid.
Delayed.
Okay, anyway. Get laid is also good, so anyway. Okay, get back to the question. Yeah. Where were I? You see it?
We were
with the
similarities between.
Yeah. But I had a point here. Production-wise, we don't really
yeah.
know because it
Right.
changes. It changes like in a movie, you can very much easier. Even if movies go over time, blah blah blah, you can very much easier like predict like, okay, this is how long it takes. This is how long this scene. Blah. You have a good idea. We've had over 100 years of refining the system. In games, you don't know because here's the good and the bad about games. We don't know, but we push it all the time. So what I like about the fans and the media and everything is that they're pushing all the time. Like, we want more, we want different, we want this, and we want that, you know. That keeps the developers like, okay, let's do it, let's push it. So we keep having this creative, like, and that's what excites me because in this industry, there's so much creativity to be explored. And there are so many risks to be taken,
yes.
You know what I mean? So that's, I hope you know what my best thing would be? That A Way Out, like, inspires others to like, okay, well, I mean, they did it, the forced co-op. Why can't we do another risky, weird, like different ideas? That's my biggest.
I think it takes not to sound like I'm sucking up to you or anything here, but I think it takes games like yours to take those risks because games. You're talking about the finance side.
Yes,
games
yes.
cost so AAA games
Yes.
cost so much that
Yes.
I think a lot of the publishers are fairly risk averse these
Yes.
days because if you take a big risk that fails, you've lost I don't know $80 million.
But here's this thing. I know these sides can meet in the middle. A good example is Last of Us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a low budget game for sure. I mean, that I would say is pushing the envelope on like what's you're able to do in a game. Like for me, that story, like, and how they tell the story with Joel and Ellie was like so powerful. And that is like, you know, you don't have to go all the way. You can like, I mean, if you're doing a $150 million game, sure, you don't have to like go all nuts, but at least you can go half nuts. You know what I mean? So depending on the situation, that's what I mean, understanding in between. But if someone if money people come to me like, no, it's too much money, blah, blah, I don't buy it. You have to understand, we're not working in selling like, you know, boxes of whatever. We're working with like creativity and art. We can't forget that there's actually a craft behind this, you know. You can't forget about that because here's the thing also, when a great game comes out, you will also make money out of it. So it's not that weird, you know. It makes sense, it goes together.
So to reel you back in again, so it sounds like, are there no similarities really between making movies and making games?
Yes, back to that. I was gonna.
See, I got you. I'm here for you.
I had a good point, but it's off. It's somewhere in the sky of.
I'm just because again, you have such a unique perspective here.
There are similarities. I mean, how you work with team and how you. But I think that because sometimes I get the question like, why? What do you take from your movie experience? I think it's not really my final answer, but I think it's getting that. The thing is, like, I know that movies are movies and games are games. I want to go away from movies instead of like going towards movies.
Right.
I want to find the best way of telling a story in the game. How do you do it? How do you control it?
So filmmaker Josef Fares is a different guy.
Yes. It's a totally different way of working, and it's like movies are like. I'm not saying like we have done all the movies we can, but they have come to kind of a limit where some, you know, it's not often you see like great movies come along.
The medium from a technical level is very understood. Would that be fair to say? Whereas games, it's not. We're still pushing it, like you said.
We're still pushing it. But similarity-wise, no, they're very different. Also, like script-wise, like you see, like you hear sometimes they have taken Hollywood script writers to games. It doesn't make it better than. I mean, because they don't understand what gaming is. How do we? What kind of gameplay is here? What game mechanics? You just write a story, and then you know, most of the time it doesn't really work. You know, I mean.
So, your brother Fares has not only been in your films, but your two games so far, Brothers and now A Way Out, have very obviously, brotherly themes to them.
Yeah.
So, what does your brother mean to you?
I mean, he means a lot. We work really great together. Like, we never argue on set. We never argue on this. We just really understand each other immediately. And I know he have extreme respect for me as I have for him. I look up to him very much in what he does, and I think he does, and I know he does the same for me. So when we work together, we have this like super mutual respect to each other, which is like not at all in private. In private, we can more argue and I don't know, something happens when we work, like boom, everything like it's like the perfect relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad privately, but it's more like we go into this little brother because I'm the little brother and he's the big brother. But once we work, it's perfect. And I mean, with this one, he was like, I mean, he was. He did all the voice and the acting. And he's a great actor. He gives the Leo character like. But what's interesting about this is that I am the body of Leo and he's the voice. It's a kind of a weird mix because I do all the mockers.
Right.
We are a small budget team,
it's...
so you do what you can. So I am the body. And sometimes I know he reacted like, why do you do that? I wouldn't have done that. You know, he got pissed off at me because I acted the same. But I'm like, yeah, but we don't got the money. You're like, oh, but he's doing actually quite good, Fares. He's like doing like he did Westworld now, the season 2.
Season 2, that's out this month. Is that?
Yeah, this month he's in that, and he's been doing some like Hollywood production. I think he's going to do very well here.
So it sounds like you've going back to even games as a kid. You've always had a really good relationship with your brother.
Yes, definitely.
That's great. Love hearing that.
The funny thing is, like, I remember because all the time, I don't know why I thought about this, but like coming to the airport, you know, this time, because they always stop me because it says Beirut and it's like routine check, yeah, my ass. They always stop you because they think I'm, and anyway, like I got stopped, and this time, like this guy took me on the side, is like, and actually he's like, hey man, I recognize you somewhere. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, aren't you that guy that like fucked the Oscar guy? I'm like, shit, I'm known for that. In the actual, I don't know why I thought about this. It's actually a funny story. So they let me in. It was a good thing, I guess. Otherwise, maybe, who knows?
I want to, I asked you a few minutes ago about filmmakers you admire. You had a great answer to that. What about, are there game makers that you admire?
Yes. I have a huge,
You've learned a lot from them?
huge respect for Neil Druckmann, and Bruce Reilly, especially Neil, because he's been actually a bit involved in this game. Like, we've been like sitting down and talking, and he's been seeing the game.
Oh, that's cool. Like almost a consultant kind of thing.
Yes. He's in the special thanks. Like, the cool thing about that guy. You know, here's the thing. The most genius guys are actually so cool. You know, he's the kind of guy that you immediately sense, okay, he don't take himself seriously. I mean, he takes his work seriously, obviously, but it's like a humble, down-to-earth, like chill out guy, like a normal dude, you know?
Right.
But when you look up what he's done, it's like so cool. I think he's been a great inspiration. And of course, Bruce Reilly, his directing partner. In general, Naughty Dog, I would say. Other, like, you know, of course, I have to say Miyamoto. Like, I don't exactly know how much he's involved in the actual development of Mario Galaxy 2, which is my favorite.
He doesn't direct much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I also love. I'm a fan of the old-style Zelda game. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the new. I like it, but I think for me, some games are going too much open world, and I'm not really a big fan of that. But I'm a big fan of Japanese games and. Not any particular developer. I mean, the Rocksteady guys. I have many studios that look up to the Rockstar. I like their open world. I like that. I'm really looking forward to the Red Dead Redemption. But I try to play everything pretty much out there. So even if but before, like I played it through. Now I played an hour and I feel, this is not my type of game. This is the thing I feel sometime for my taste, like the repetition of gaming doesn't really work for me, especially in cinematic game. That's what's important in a way out. So it's like, but here's the hard thing of it, because when you change the mechanic, the production goes up. So you have to like make all this stuff. So you have to like constantly have these, you know, talk with your team and like, you know, make them understand that this is good for the game. But they're all very proud.
With you mentioned Miyamoto. Obviously, he's probably the first answer you'd get from almost everyone. Every game player.
And Kojima in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the beginning. I would say I really liked his games more before than today. I'm not saying I don't like them today. I'm just saying in the beginning, like I remember playing Metal Gear Solid.
What makes you say that? What do you like about the early?
Because there were like a thing. There were like more. You felt the thing, you know, that thing where like you remember like the Psycho Mantis, like when you have to change the controller, like all this like where you take the gaming into another level when you change it. I miss that a little bit, you know, something. And he's also saying himself, I mean, on his Twitter, he says I'm 70% movie. I think, I mean, after Metal Gear Solid 4, he went a little bit from the more cutscene to more open world. But I like his older stuff more, actually. I'm looking forward to Death Stranding, it's called,
Yeah, but I mean, could you see yourself, because like Miyamoto, we mentioned him a minute ago, he more, no, he didn't direct Galaxy 2, but he seems to have taken on a very intentional sort of mentor role where he's nurtured the next generation of Nintendo game designers. Could you see yourself in that role someday of trying to mentor the next generation of?
Yeah, I mean, I've only done 2 games, so I mean, I will.
Well, yeah, you're a young man too.
Yeah,
Miyamoto's 60-something years old.
Yeah. Like when I've done them, because I wouldn't compare myself to these guys, obviously. But again, I mean, I look up to them. But you know, funny thing when you take up Miyamoto, I've always thought of this guy. Can this guy be angry? I mean, doesn't he always look happy?
He does.
He's always like
literally always has a smile on his face.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, because I thought with a friend about it. It's like, does this guy ever get angry? He must get angry at some point, right? Or maybe maybe this guy is crazy, but nobody knows. Like maybe in the background he's like really mad. But yeah, I look up to him a lot. I mean, there are some people who have done so much for this industry that is throughout gaming history. Like it's crazy. I'm just, here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, like me or not like me, I'm so proud to be part of this industry. I'm so passionate about it. I really feel like just being on here or like being part of this. I love this, man. I think it's great, and I really like. I like the industry. I just think it's a great. I know sometimes like people can be very angry online, blah blah blah, but it's you know, it is what it is.
Roger Ebert was wrong, right? Games are art.
You know, I remember when I said that to a journalist, that I said to him, like, he's totally full of shit, that guy. You know, tell him to go fuck himself. That's how wrong. He called me the day after. He's like, Roger Ebert died today. I'm like, shit, don't write that stuff up. I was so unlucky. You know, you don't want to say that. But yes, he was absolutely wrong. Nothing personal against him, but that was I don't even talk to people who say gamer are not art. It doesn't even make sense. It's so insanely stupid. It's like, what? I mean, one could say like, okay, if you ask the question, if I draw you a painting here, would you consider that art? I mean, most people would say yes. Yeah, then my answer is that's like one small portion of making a game. I'm thinking like of the concept artists when they draw.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That's just small thing. If
the animators,
games,
the programmers,
everything, man, it's like crazy.
The soundtrack, everything.
You know, there are some people that actually think like you know, when they say, "Oh, this is computer made," you think like you take a computer, you just write "open world," blah blah, enter. Oh, very good.
There it is.
But people think like that sometimes, you know. But I mean, that's gonna change. I don't worry too much. Like if someone says game art and I don't even listen to that, I'm like, what? It's like total bullshit. It's like saying to me, hey, I'm stupid. Do you want to talk to me? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's talk. You know, but about something else. So I don't even take that seriously. You know.
No, it's
yeah.
Have you ever thought of making a movie based off of either Brothers or A Way Out? Have you ever thought of trying to adapt them to film?
There has been like talks about it, but I haven't thought about it seriously. It's nothing that like interests me right now.
Right.
But I'm not saying I haven't let go of movies totally. Yeah. I might come back to it, like, because I keep getting like these like offers and stuff, so I have the possibility of doing it. But if I do it, it's gonna be again the way I want it and the way it's.
Well, it sounds like it could even be a good break for you, given that you spent what 4 years on A Way Out.
Yeah. 3.5.
And however many on Brothers.
Yeah.
Maybe spending a year and a half on a movie could be good for you.
It could be a good vacation.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't had any plan on it. But I know that people like recently some agent contact, but they talk so much shit, like hello, blah blah. It's like it's so much bullshit, man. But you
can sniff
tend,
it out.
Yeah, you tend to learn like, what are you talking about? Like I remember, like they even have like game agents now also. Like what do I need that for negotiation? I negotiate myself. I need someone like. You know, it's so weird. So, but I guess it's good for some people.
Well, if you don't want to have to worry about that and you just want to write, work on your game and not worry about the money
probably.
side, right?
No, I don't worry about
that.
But
so I mean, what now that A Way Out's done, it's out in the world.
Yeah.
What do you think is next for you? What are you going to spend the next? What are you going to spend the rest of 2018 doing?
I have plans for another idea, but I just have to land in my head, just like so need some time to like really like try to figure out what's going on. But you will definitely see more games.
Do you like to, go rent a house by a lake somewhere and just write and escape, or do you just?
No, again, like when the game comes out, I'm like done with it. It's like a way out is done.
Oh, I'm saying for your next game. What's your sort of how are you gonna? How are you
I
gonna work on
actually
your
live
next
in a
idea?
house by the lake. Hopefully,
Well, there you go.
Hopefully when this is shown, because it's been a shitty project. I had this worst contractor ever in the world. They suck so bad.
Oh, working on your house?
Yeah, they suck so bad. It's crazy. I think I'm gonna make a movie about them when the whole shit falls together. It's like they're so. Pisses me off just thinking about it. I just got some emails and I'm like, you fucking idiots, what is this? They're like totally out of
Money Pit, the Tom Hanks movie from,
exactly.
from the 80s. I love that movie.
So when we talk about this, I might like sitting in a totally broken house, but hopefully I have that. But yes, on the next project, I'll have an idea and a vision, but
do you like to sit down and take a few hours every day to write and just write anything?
No.
What's your process?
The process is like I sit with the designers and we sit there and we're like, okay, push this, push it, and I always try to push them, not too many. Like
but in the beginning though, like when you came up with A Way Out,
A Way Out
how does that start? You know, when you're
then I'm sitting alone. I mean, you mean the first beginning? Yes. Then I'm alone sitting and like. Trying to figure out like how do we push this, how do we do that, what fits the story, what's this, what's that, you know. And then like I draw my beautiful paintings and then they can a professional, you know, storyboard of those.
So you like to paint too?
Yeah, but you saw my paintings on Twitter if you haven't. They're like super bad.
It doesn't matter. It's just the.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as you're doing it, that's all that
actually,
matters.
my storyboard guys, they actually they're way better than other directors. So I'm kind of like, but I'm not that good. I've draw a lot of them, but none of them has been like, you know.
So
no, I'm not gonna be like drawing pictures in the future.
So if we see you sitting maybe on a park bench in Sweden somewhere this summer, you might be thinking about your next game.
Probably, yeah. No. The next game I will make. Trust me on that. Yeah. But here's the thing, like why you can't announce or say anything about it, because
of course not.
The idea why is not to be secret is that when the idea is so fresh. You're so sensitive to reactions, you know.
Right.
When it's strong with you here, then you are not. You don't worry about your reaction because it's very fragile, you know.
Yes.
So if like let's say I told it to you, like, oh yeah, cool. You can immediately read it. Oh, maybe it doesn't like, and then you know what I mean.
You change it.
Yes. So you want to let it grow like a flower, and then it grows, and then when it have roots and like strong tree, whatever you do is gonna stay there, like won't budge. You know.
Well, your new tree is called A Way Out.
Yes, this tree is like really stable.
So it is rooted. It's out now. It's called A Way Out. It's available now on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. It's $30, but you get a token to play. You can give to anybody you want to play. And obviously, that's you're playing on the same platform.
Yeah, exactly.
So check it out right now. The review is up on IGN as well to see what we thought of it. I'll be curious. We're recording this before we review the game, so I wonder what we thought about it. But Josef Fares, thank you so much.
Thank you. Great
Always
to be
a pleasure. Yeah,
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
Don't wait 4 years next time. Come back soon.
I'll do my best.
All right. For much more from the best, brightest, most fascinating minds in the games industry.
I look, man.
Such as Josef Fares, who's now checking himself out in the studio monitor.
I look actually like I train good. What about this? All right, nice.
Be sure to look for new episodes of this every month, either on IGN, YouTube, or on your favorite podcast service. We'll see you next month.